Hello.
Hey, Grandma.
Hi, Haley.
How are you?
Good.
Doing good? I've always had a really special relationship with my grandma, Cindy, my mom's mom. As long as I can remember, she's the only person in my family that has very directly just talked about Jesus and how he saved her. When I was a little girl, we would sit out on the back porch in the sun and just talk about everything. And she would always ask thought-provoking questions like, do you have a personal relationship with Jesus? Not just, this is God, but have you asked him into your heart? And at first I was like, whoa, these are big questions. But I thought about him. I ruminated on it, and I felt secure, rooted in my faith. And then I turned into a teenager and I started to feel lost. I fell out of contact with her and I walked away from going to church. I walked away from reading my Bible. I walked away from thinking about God like I used to with her as a little girl, and started sort of searching the world for answers. I looked to many other things for my confidence and my identity to fulfill this longing for love in my heart. I couldn't figure out what is missing. What is this truth? Kind of all started with my health. I had something kind of happening in my stomach and I didn't know what was going on. I tried self-help books. I tried all the diets. I tried all the exercise. I tried taking out entire food groups, and nothing helped. And I went to some doctors, and the response was just, well, this is anxiety, and here's some medication for that. And it was a dark, scary time mentally. That prompted me to just start praying again. That was kind of the beginning of my draw back to the church. And probably a month or so later, I made an appointment with my gynecologist, and this was not the normal gynecologist that I go to. It was someone else. And she's like, oh yeah, you got something growing in there. I had 2 cysts, 1 in each ovary, and they were growing and getting bigger, and it was like 7 months pregnant stomach. One of the women that did the ultrasound, she said that it's so big that it's up underneath your rib cage. And then 2 weeks later, I'm on medical leave and I'm in the hospital getting the cysts removed. But that was answer to prayer. That was just my journey back to hearing God and listening to what the Holy Spirit is saying. And I remembered a teacher I worked with years ago. She mentioned this church called Bethel and said it's in Hobart. And so I thought, okay, let me just try it. So I told my grandma, I called her and I said, I'm going to try this church and just see. And she was so excited. She's like, oh my gosh, you're going to try church. Okay, tell me all about it. Go, tell me what you think. And so I walked through the doors that morning just by myself, walked in, and the first sermon that they were doing was the first beginning of a new series called It's All About Him. And so I knew that's where I was supposed to be. I was like, this just feels like just for me. These sermons feel like they're just for me right now, and what I need and what I'm searching for, and what I've been searching for this satiation, this hunger for radical love. That's what I've been searching for. A few weeks later, they were going to do baptisms, and I thought, why not now? It meant so much to be able to do that and to choose Jesus again and not hide it anymore. It was just a big moment. And then I think it was 2 to 3 weeks later, I lost my job. it was interesting, the timing of it, because you think, all right, I gave my life to Jesus and now everything is good. And it's almost like the timing worked out that way, where he said, okay, you've proclaimed my name and you've given your life to me again. So it's going to be okay to go through this. Here we go. The thoughts around Easter this year, that's just the common phrase in my mind is just all things new. That just keeps rattling in my head, and God isn't mad that you walked away or that I walked away. He's not sitting there saying, well, where were you? Why did you walk away? And I don't have to continue to sit in the shame of that. He's saying, your sins are forgiven. I'm so glad you're here. You showed up. He makes a way for new life, for life fresh and new. I have so much to be thankful for, and God's really used that to help me see and wake up to look at everything around you, all this love and light that you have around you that you took for granted for so long.
How are you doing?
Doing good, just getting used to the job, really, and it's just been a really welcoming new beginning.
It is a new beginning, and you're going to do really well.
Thank you. As of now, we're talking on the phone every few days, and I'm just cherishing every minute of it.
It's been a exciting time for me to see you depending on God and asking God into your life. And a grandmother or a mom can't ask for anything more than to know that their kids are in the hands of the Lord, because, the Lord can do things that we can't for you. So it's all a good thing. Very good.
Thanks, Grandma.
We'll talk to you soon. Love you.
Love you too. I'd say if you're new and you're just kind of seeing what's what here, and you're sitting in the back of the church and you're looking around and thinking, well, where do I go? What do I do with my hands? I'd say if you feel prompted to go pray with somebody, every week there's someone to pray with you. Just gather the courage and take that next step. Take that step.